Hi everyone, you're listening to the Vialucci podcast, uncensored and completely unedited discussions about life and everything in it. We hope you enjoy the show.
Sounding like Peter Griffin there.
How you doing?
Right.
It did actually, yeah. Is that still going, Family Guy?
Yeah, it's on
yes.
season.
Who are they, think? Because Comedy Central South Park, isn't it?
It's Fox.
Oh, right. Who's the other big channel? Who's got Simpsons?
Fox.
Oh,
And
really?
who's got American
Yeah,
Dad?
and that's-
Fox.
Yeah, and that's all Disney.
Who's got
Right.
Futurama? Fox.
So basically, if you fall asleep now and wake up in 10 years, it'll all just be one channel. They've all just conglomerated onto one big channel. It will be.
We're already at like about 3 or 4 streaming services.
CNN, brought to you by Fox, part of the CBS network.
Yeah, it's all going to be. Disney own Fox, don't they?
Yep.
Oh, see, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's what I'm saying,
I've transformed, went forward 10 years.
Well
Saw
done
the
for
future.
inventing Disney. Yeah,
But it's like I'm joking, and then you go, no, that's what's happening. You go, oh, well, yeah.
but that's how it used to be. It's just gone back in cycles.
So Disney is now, you've got to let go of what we thought of Disney now. It's not that anymore. It's not that kiddie thing. It's not that. It's a corporation.
I think Disney Plus would tell you wrong, to be honest. Because there's a lot of kiddie stuff on there. It does skew younger.
Wow.
And it's a shame because they're sitting on, in the UK version, they're sitting on all the Fox back library.
Oh, no, they've got it on now.
They've got a few things on.
They've got
but there's-
Star, haven't they?
Yes, but they haven't just dumped everything. I assumed that they would just dump everything because I mean they've got
What have they
Die
held
Hard,
off for then?
some of the Die Hard, some of the Alien films, some of the
Oh,
Predator
really? I
films.
thought all the Alien films were on there.
No.
Can I
honestly.
just say, when I'm listening, Andrew's literally on his phone.
Turning off.
No,
yeah.
not only is he on his phone, he's resting one finger on his head and he's texting.
I'm looking pensive. No, I was turning my phone off
Oh,
after
yeah.
posting
Well done. Okay.
about the show.
You should be a musician the way you quickly moved your fingers there.
Yes.
Oh, he's posting about the show. Okay, forgive him.
Yeah, I did watch Aliens in HD recently, and that was
Aliens.
Uber Eats.
that was great.
Who owns? What's the thing with Star Wars? Isn't Disney involved with that?
Yeah,
now?
Disney
Star
and
Wars,
Star Wars.
What about Star Trek? Who owns Star Trek?
That's Paramount.
The movie company.
Disney also in Marvel, all the Marvel.
Disney. What else have they recently bought back? Who owns Disney? Who's
Disney.
who are the founders? Like, is it a?
You've still got the Disney family involved, but they're
really?
Yeah, but they're sort of in the way that they just go. And write
There's
off
that
private
shady looking motherfucker, right? And there's like one picture of him on the internet taken like with a telescopic lens through a window. For some reason, with smoke in front of him
Right, yeah.
for atmosphere, and it's worth having a look. Like a picture of a Disney owner, and no, sorry, Marvel owner.
Right.
It's
okay.
the Marvel owner I'm thinking of. And there's one photo.
Is
of
that
it.
Ari Avad? Is it?
There's one photo of him with Trump, and like he just looks
okay.
like the sketchiest guy. Like really, like, and he's worth so much money, and not what you
It's
think.
like, it's like when you see Trump's dad and you go, oh, okay, there you go. I don't need to see anything else.
He had a weird thing where
he
like
looks
an
evil.
ear was like at a different.
He just
I
wasn't
think
a fan of
from the-
smiling. Just one of the people that looked weird when he smiled. Like, oh,
Yeah.
right, that doesn't suit you.
One of the parents, like the ear is, I think because of so many facelifts, the ear is
Oh,
down.
no.
Like it's very. I mean, I don't want to be unkind if that was a some kind of birth.
Talking of
So their human mask was slit to bits,
Kind of
and
a
then they
little
never
bit, yeah.
like.
talking of facial disformities, I was listening to what's his name talk. Who did the thing? What's the
We need more
the
information.
director? The director,
Down,
the thing.
mate, come on.
Done all the horror films.
What?
Who's the director of the thing?
Oh, the thing. Oh, right.
John Carpenter.
John Carpenter.
Okay, yeah, John Carpenter. I thought, what's the thing? The thing.
Oh,
the thing.
literally.
He's the director of the thing.
I meant
and
the
I'm
film.
like,
So he was saying, they were saying, like, why did you decide to go all mad with the bodies and all that? And he said, well, actually, he said, because I was young at the time, he said, everyone, it was the like working at the workouts of the body craze, everyone started to be vain, plastic surgery started to come in. And he said, I was so anti all this health, body, vanity. He said, I want to integrate into the film something that had no disregard. I had complete disregard for the human form, so it was just rip it apart, like solid. I don't get. It was sort of a play on the fact of vanity. Like, no, this thing doesn't give a damn about your body. It's just got to rip it in all different shapes.
well, it comes across as completely alien, doesn't it? Because you don't know what you're looking at half
Yeah,
the
it just
time.
doesn't
You're
make
just
any-
like, what is this?
Yeah, because most alien creatures in things look like So
Yeah.
the alien is big. I think we've discussed before. It's basically a big drooling phallus that
Yeah.
chases people down the.
It's a giant space penis.
Yeah, and the predator is like a body with a big crab head.
Yeah.
And, some people say it looks like a
Invisible,
vagina.
Invisible
And you're like,
Rasta alien. Come
Yeah,
on, give
but-
him his dues.
Yeah.
so it's got all everything looks like. Or the classic is obviously the little green men. But yeah, the thing can be.
It was just.
anything.
It was
A Star Trek when
mad.
people have just got little crap.
Yeah,
on
some of them
their
you're like,
foreheads.
oh, come on, this isn't the 60s one where they've got the Fu Manchu moustaches. This is 94 and you've still got just dots.
Well,
on
that
your
one,
face.
the fish people who looked like they were in just like a. Do you remember the fish people? They just had like they looked like they're in tubes.
Tubes.
Yes, I know the episode. You mean where they're silent almost the whole time, and then they wake up and they eat all this disgusting fish stuff.
What's that on?
That's in Star Trek: The Next Generation. One of those is Mick Fleetwood.
I know,
isn't it?
I know.
It's
That's
mad.
so weird.
Who's Mick Fleetwood?
From Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
He's just,
Before or after the
no, this is high. Well, I don't know. Not
Generations.
Heightened. Yeah,
This is
Star
like-
Trek
Yeah,
Generations, the kind of rebooted series.
It's just one of them celebrities that love the show and said,
Yeah,
"Can I?"
That is exactly
That's
it.
fair
but
enough.
I think he wanted to do it only on the condition that he would be covered completely. So you only know because obviously people say, but it's just a guy in a big fish head costume.
I didn't know that films had second. What they call it, second
unit.
unit. I had no idea. Like when they're busy, they just get a complete different person to film it and do all the things.
Well, it also means that you can film stuff, quickly because
Yeah,
you've
but I
got
didn't- That's quite a lot to give up, unless you know them, like you're the.
Yeah, but you have to. But it's also for the big Marvel films and all these sorts of films.
I
they're-
suppose, yeah, it doesn't mean
they're bringing in. It's like, from the director of Little Miss Sunshine,
Right, yeah.
and then they've got to direct the. Yeah, not because it wasn't that, but the people who directed Captain Marvel were, and this isn't to shit on them, but they were like kind of indie comedy things.
Right.
Are they going to know how to do a
I was
20-person
listening to
fight?
who,
So they get the second unit guy to come in and direct it. Yeah.
who did Pan's.
And the effects people. I mean, the
Yeah.
effects people now have a big say because they just go, right, go and do a 15-minute battle. Lots of stuff happens.
Just
you
slash
figure it
stuff
out.
You know
and
what
we'll
you're
draw
doing.
the people
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
so you've got to trust the effects person. The effects person is directing
Right,
like
yeah,
whole
yeah.
sections of your film. So they've actually become an important part.
Yeah,
of
who
these
did
big productions.
Pan's Labyrinth? I can't pronounce his name. Guillermo.
Guillermo del
Guillermo
Toro.
del Toro.
Yeah, there was a thing with him talking about secondary. What was it? Secondary units.
unit, yeah.
And he said he was when he was using them, he didn't never like using them because I think he was a model maker, so everything's very specific with him. He said, oh God, who directed E.T.?
Spielberg.
Yeah, but we're going to be here a while. Spielberg said to him, he said they work. He said the problem with secondary units is, he said, if it goes bad, like it makes you look bad. And he said, but if it goes well, you also look bad. So he said, try not to use them whenever you can.
Yeah, it depends on the director, but often, it's partly to do with time, but also partly to do with experience. If you've never done a battle scene choreo, because otherwise you end up with Chris Nolan films where it's just two people and they're shot from the waist up and you can barely see them.
Yeah,
because
but he
it's
said he
too
had
close.
used them. He said, I think he used them on. What did he get lambasted for? Like not the mist, something very the mimic.
Who's this? Guillermo del
Yeah,
Toro.
is it Mimic?
Yeah, the Mimic. It's okay.
He got a lot something, but I think he said he
Did he
used.
do that, really?
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
I think he felt he stopped doing it halfway through. But it was a bad stain on him. Like he couldn't make films for a few years afterwards. He said that was the end of it. And then there was the Pan's Labyrinth, I think. But no, he was saying that was a big flaw. Like it just went
I'm
really,
just
really
trying to
bad.
remember
Everything went
which-
wrong.
the
There was
order of the
arguments.
films.
But he said it
He
dropped
walked
off.
he's walked off a few things. He walked off The Hobbit, didn't
He was on The Hobbit. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't think he walked off, did
he?
he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, right.
Because I think that he said he didn't want to do 3 films, basically. He said
Oh, right.
he stretched it. He said maybe
Two.
two.
I think 2 would have been fine.
Yeah.
With because they were doing all the expanded stuff that you don't get in the Hobbit, because obviously you've got the problem of we've got this super powered wizard who can beat anyone.
Oh, that
he
was
needs to go off and do something over there. So
I've
we've
just
got
remembered about
It's the
perils.
Captain Marvel situation. Yeah, they just go, right, I'm just going to go over there for a while until the plot needs it.
yeah, and then I'll pop back in out of a cloud.
I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out. See when my cue
Only
is. but-
exactly when you're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about to die.
Nick of time.
Could you not get me beforehand? No, right at that moment.
We could really do with you. You know?
Well, that's the thing with the Scarlet Witch, isn't it? In Avengers Infinity War, she destroys everything, and one of them goes, "Why was she up there all the
Yeah.
whole time?"
She just turns
Do you know
up
how
at
many
the
people
end.
have died since
Yeah.
you've been away?
Yeah.
Well, Captain Marvel's argument is that she's protecting the entire rest
Oh,
of the
right, yeah.
galaxy.
I'm busy. Yeah.
While
Busy on
they're
the list.
all of them are protecting the planet.
Yeah, I'd like to say, where have you been that was more important than everything that's gone on here? The Exorcist thing, that was what I was going to say to you. I need to remind you about. So they are remaking the original Exorcist now.
Oh, for fuck.
They can't be.
No, they are. And so Jamie Lee Curtis wants to play the voice of Linda Blair, but
Hey?
yeah,
she
the,
does
the
have
girl.
well, she's
yeah.
a bit older now, so you know.
Oh,
she
as
does
in
have the-
what? As in she wants to play the
It's just said the
demon
voice of her. Yeah,
of
might be.
Pazuzu.
But the mum, she's definitely in it. She's older now, like she's an old lady.
Who, Ellen Burstyn.
Yeah, is that the mum in the original thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's back. She's in it.
I don't
playing herself.
I
like,
am
a lot
surprised
older.
she's still alive.
Yeah,
to be
I would
honest.
have.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but they're making that's who's playing she's
Correct.
playing herself.
Can we get a check on whether Ellen Burstyn
Yeah.
Bernstein is alive?
She's in the film
But
already.
I mean, are they filming? Because they've been talking about like a Scarface remake for about 20,
Let's just double check.
years.
Because what we need is a remake of a remake.
What was her name?
Yeah.
Ellen Bernstein. Yeah. Oh, good for
Exorcist.
her.
Wow.
New film, Exorcist.
I can only imagine what use she'll be.
How old is she?
on a busy day.
88.
That's not bad. That's not 88. It's an 88, modern 88. See, she's in the new Exorcist. Yeah, put it in there like Exorcist.
Everyone, we're just verifying.
Thank you.
But it's like they remade did they? Yeah, they remade the first Evil Dead like a couple of years ago, and that was terrible.
It was a very violent. Like it was kind of fun for the sort of wow, this is crazy violent. But
was that exactly remake? Was it?
Well,
Yeah, it
technically it was
was.
a
Yeah,
sequel.
yeah, yeah.
No, technically it's a sequel because
They're
again,
all kind of remakes, except for the third
two
one.
two
Yeah.
is a remake of one, which is very.
Was there any harm chopped off with a chainsaw? I
Uh,
remember somebody in the floor, under the floor.
Yeah, she does. She chops her.
Someone's in my fruit cellar.
Because
That's quite good, actually.
Joe Exotic.
Yeah, it goes either way. Yeah.
That's such a great scene. Yeah.
No, because the remake is technically a sequel because he turns up in the post-credit bit.
Oh, okay.
They do a silhouette bit.
make
And
it that
he just goes groovy when he's thinking
I
about
watched
it.
a bit of the series, and the series is quite fun. Like,
Oh,
at
Ash versus
points.
Evil
Yeah,
Dead.
Ash versus Evil Dead. It was all right. Like it was really dumb, but it was kind of it knew it was dumb and it was having fun
Right.
with it. And
kind of like Army of Darkness then. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. It was fun. It was it was.
I wanted to look up. Forgot to look up the Exorcist TV series. I'm going to give it a go on your word. So there's I'm against it, but I'm going to give it a go.
It's
on your word.
it does finish on a cliffhanger. I mean, they complete the story, but then there's hints of things to come, but it wasn't renewed for a third
So would they
season.
be doing a remake of the Evil Dead 2? Surely, if the first one went all right. Because I remember it didn't get really.
It didn't go all right. That's the
Well,
thing.
it wasn't too bad. I thought it wasn't too bad.
remake-
It didn't. Yeah, the
I think it.
Evil Dead. It didn't.
Well, the
wow.
plan was originally that they were going to do another Evil Dead film with Ash, so that from
Yeah.
the original thing, another Evil Dead with the new character. The character's name escapes me, which doesn't bode well. And then they were going to have a third film in this new sort of trilogy, linking them up together.
Oh, okay.
And then that didn't. That was still meant to be happening while also having Ash versus Evil Dead, and then it all just fell apart.
I think there is some copyright issues as well.
Yeah.
Just because I know there is a series of comics and they've had.
There's also
As long as-
isn't there?
The fucking Predator doesn't pop up in it, or Thor, or something. They don't really make a big leap across.
No, you see, I don't know. I'm completely the opposite. 'Cause I think I think Predator should be popping up in more films. Like honestly, like because how great would that be? Die Hard, and then all of a sudden, Predator turns up.
I think the
That
Predator
would be good. I would
Like
watch
that would be
Watch
wicked.
the hell out of
You
that.
go through their back catalogue, Jaws, Predator turns up. Fuck it, why not? Just go through everything.
I mean,
I
you
don't
lost
think
me
you could do
there,
the
but
same.
the idea
Kramer
of-
versus Kramer, and then the Predator shows up.
That is
Genius.
that's
Titanic.
a Family Guy thing. Kramer.
Oh, I
instead
think
of
it might be, yeah.
Yeah, Kramer versus Predator.
No, you could have the Titanic. That's why. Oh, the a UFO hit the side of the.
Predator
sure
turns
probably.
up. Yeah.
I think the Predator transfer is easier than the Aliens. When they do that, I think, oh, that doesn't work. The Aliens got a feel about it. Whereas
Well, it's
Predator,
also it was always that was the problem with the Alien versus Predator film. So that they set them on Earth, but then the first one is sort of the Alien from '79 is sort of it's implied that it's First Contact. Obviously, they've gone
Right,
back
yeah,
and back
yeah.
on that with the with Prometheus and
all that mess.
Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Is there is he finished with that? Wasn't there supposed to be 3?
I'm not sure they're going to let him do another one. to be
Every film was,
honest.
don't worry, we're going to explain the last one.
Yeah.
No, you just made it more
We're going
complicated.
to fix the last film basically.
I'll be honest though. I think in the space of a week, I saw Alien Covenant and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Right.
And actually, Alien Covenant stuck more in my mind because there was so much of Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, there's some drawings,
right.
having a fight.
Yeah, computer, yeah,
There's that happens with loads of films. What was it? I was watching? I can't remember.
Aquaman, that was
Alien-
terrible for
Alien
that.
Covenant.
I quite enjoyed it.
It was just a computer game. I was watching a computer game.
It was so dumb, mate. It kind of it went so far stupid. It
Yeah.
actually became like campy and kitsch.
Oh
Like,
my god!
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
It's like Flash Gordon. I thought because I saw Flash Gordon a couple of days before on telly, and then I watched this and I was like, oh, this is like Tron and Flash
Right,
Gordon. This is like so stupid. It's great.
This is you need to see Gods of Egypt.
Oh
It
my
is-
God.
It is really bad, but also
Who's
it's
the main
wonderful.
guy in that? Is that
It's Gerard
Spartan?
Butler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Spartan. Yeah.
Well,
It's got a decent colour. It's Jeffrey Rush.
Yeah, Jeffrey Rush is in it. He's playing the sun god Ra on a flying ship in space, fighting a cloud monster.
The most important thing is what's Gerard's accent? Is it
no?
Has it got any better? Or is he just a Scottish fella in a?
He's kind
He
of
can't do
Scottish.
anything other than drunk.
It's the Sean Connery thing. He's got that accent wherever he goes.
Well, he did try.
Trojan,
I think, but he did an Irish accent in P.S. I Love You, which, frankly, for a Scot to do an Irish accent should not be so much of a stretch.
Yeah.
But it was. I think if he hadn't been from a Celtic nation, he'd been up for some kind of
So how did he sound in the gods thing?
Just shouty, just this
Drunk,
Sparta.
drunk,
but it was.
basically.
But he's
Drunk
the
and
only one
angry.
that's gone because everyone else is like what people are they're trying to make something of it, and he's just clearly looked at the script and gone,
Right,
fuck
okay.
this noise, and I'm just going to yell at the top of my voice. But it's so wonderfully stupid. There are bits, all sorts of bits where you're watching it and you're like, what the fuck? Like there's
any sense.
There's a close-up shot of him. This doesn't necessarily work for audio. Close-up shot of him, like you think he's riding on a chariot, whacking these people, and then it widens out and he's on a flying chariot pulled by giant scarabs, and he's just, it's just the silliest film I've
just,
ever
all right,
seen.
just lean back
It's
and
so,
go, right.
oh yeah, it was I mean,
It's not boring. You know what I mean? There's a lot happening.
It's entertaining, right?
Yeah, it's
Did
the silliness
did
of it
Sean
all.
Connery ever do a proper accent, like another accent?
There's a hint of it in Highlander when he turns up as an Egyptian from Spain, who for some reasons, he makes a big point of saying, "I didn't say I was Spanish. I said I was Egyptian." Then why is your name still Juan Sanchez Villalobos or Ramirez? Because that doesn't sound very Egyptian. Anyhow, there's a moment where he goes, "We are brothers," and then he stops.
And that's it. Just the one.
I think
you get the one word out.
I think the Spanish ambassador probably passed a note to the British ambassador saying to stop.
It didn't change any.
No.
Sod it. I'm just
Yeah,
Sean
but
Connery.
it's fine. That's what you pay your ticket for.
Oh God.
You pay for Sean.
What's
you
he
get
done
Sean.
recently? Sean Connery
Died.
Oh, did he die?
Yeah, recently, yeah.
How old was he?
90-something, 91.
Wow. What was his last film?
He did.
No,
but yeah,
that
was
was his last. Was
Yeah,
it?
that
Food,
broke him.
Was it? No, it was this Food Fight or something, wasn't it?
He did a
Terrible
League of
animated
League of
Yeah.
Extraordinary Gentlemen was his last live action, and then he did I think 2 or 3 more voice roles in.
Oh,
in
so that was
not
his
very
last film. That was a while ago.
Yeah,
He didn't want to do it anymore after
Right.
that film.
But he started acting late, didn't he?
Uh,
Sean Connery, wasn't he like a truck driver or something?
no, he was well, he did all sorts of things, but he was a bodybuilder. He'd done small roles. He's in
Oh,
like
yeah,
he's
you're
in one
right.
of the
Yeah, he was.
Tarzan films.
Yeah.
He's in The Longest Day.
Yeah,
Longest Day.
can't remember if Hitchcock, if Marnie was he in Marnie? Is that the one he's in? He's in one of the Hitchcocks, but I can't remember if that's.
Yeah,
Bond
I
or
made a
thereabouts.
mistake the other. I got a bit too confident with my film watching. I tried to get a bit crafty and a bit cultured, and I was watching like the 70s, the Hammer Homer runs, and I thought, okay, they're not too bad. Peter Cushing, all that. And then I went too far back, and I went to the Wolfman 47, which
You were talking about this.
I saw a few minutes. I thought,
enthusiastic.
I'm going to wait to watch it properly. So I watched it.
Is it the one with Lon Chaney Jr.?
I don't know who was in. I don't know the names of people.
Claude Rains?
I don't. It's too
I
far
mean,
back.
if you've ever seen that film, the strangest thing about that is trying to believe that Claude Rains would ever be Lon Chaney Jr.'s, because Claude Rains is a very sort of dainty little man.
Oh, right.
English, I would think, or he might be French
There was
originally.
somebody, yeah.
And he's, have you ever seen Casablanca?
Yeah.
He's the police chief in that.
Oh,
Oh, right.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
And then Lon Chaney Jr. kind of is this great big hulking, very like he's got the face of, not the build, but he's got a face very much like Lou Ferrigno, just this big kind of Hulk man. And you're like, these two are meant to be. He came from him. What are you talking
That's
about?
so funny you say that, because the first thing I noticed when the main guy, I don't know who it was, quite a tall American guy, he's come back to England, he's a son, and he kept calling the guy father.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I thought he's
that-
a priest.
No.
He goes, no, that's his dad. I go, that doesn't. It was almost embarrassing when he's calling him dad and like
Yeah.
acting young. I'm thinking, how was this? There must be like money, cash in hand, bin, but because that he does not fit this. For nobody put him in there.
That's why, yeah.
The whole
So
way
that
through,
is
I'm thinking this is really awkward when they're talking to him. He looks older than the dad, and he's talking to him like a child.
Well,
But
yeah.
it was like when I realised my line was when the belts went above the belly button with men's trousers. That's when I know I've gone too far back.
Again, that's also a Family Guy thing. They talk about
do they?
men from, I think it was like athletic men
50s
from the 50s.
tough, yeah,
50s tough, and it's just guys with their belts up and they've got
He
bellies
was
but
walking
bigger
in,
arms.
and it's oh, everyone's. I think where are all their trousers so high? It's just like curtains hanging
like
down.
Liam Neeson. Yeah. He suddenly he hit 50 and was like, you know what, I'm going to be a tough guy now. I don't know where that came from, but like he's in all those terrible Taken movies.
But the wolf.
I like the first one. I thought that was okay.
I watched the one with Forrest Whitaker in it as like the.
The thing about Forrest
detective,
Whitaker is you kind of like to think he'd be a mark of quality, but he is not. I mean, he's always good, but he is in some he must owe the tax man something.
Yeah.
No, he's not an actor, yeah, but he just.
That's what I mean. He's a really good actor, but you think like, oh, well, that's, and then you watch some. I think he's one of those guys who's just like, oh, if they offer it, I'll just say yes in case it turns out to be, because that's what
actor.
Well, that was Samuel L. Jackson's thing that I can't remember what it was. He turned down some massive film early on in his career.
Hang on 1 second. What time is it? I've put my clock back. It's not 9:15.
Listening to the Vialucci podcast. It is 8:15.
Oh, okay, I haven't put it back. Karen talking. You might hear a winding sound.
I mean, it was, but I think I can't remember what the film was, but he turned it down and it was quite a big hit, and then he had to wait ages to get his break. So he was like, right, from now on, I'm never turning anything down.
Oh, right. What was the last film you see at the cinema?
It was recent. It was No Time to Die.
Oh, The Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, that recent.
Yeah.
What about you, Charles?
God, I'm going to have to go back through the mists of time. Long time ago. Was it, when did the last Star Wars maybe?
That was 2019 or might be
that
20.
was Christmas in 19.
Yeah,
so before the lockdown.
So 2020.
Oh.
Like, I think this last time.
Didn't you say you were going to go to the cinema?
I'm planning on, when I get a day off, I mean, I've got a day off. Like,
you were going to go
we've been
tonight,
using up all your cinema hours.
Yeah.
You've been coming here instead.
Yeah. I want to see Dune on the big screen, and that's
So what is this, Dune? I keep seeing the name pop up. What is it?
It's quite interesting. I've read a couple of
remake.
books. Yeah, the 80s film is bonkers, verging on terrible, but interesting oddity to watch.
Something in the desert, is it?
David Lynch, yeah. It's a science fiction
right.
film set on a desert planet revolving around a MacGuffin that is effectively sort of petrochemicals. It's fossil fuels. So there's a fuel that there's basically the stuff they need to power interstellar travel. And it's all only grown on one planet. And there's a whole feudal system, and it's set 10,000 years in the future.
Was Rutger Hauer in it or something like in the 80s? It seemed to have that sort of...
It's surprisingly not.
I think he's the only actor. Yeah.
He's the only kind of like genre actor I can think of.
Because Patrick Stewart's in it, Sting's in it.
Yeah. Sting, there you go.
A weird wing thong.
Jesus.
Who else?
Dean Stockdale.
Loads of people, yeah.
Jürgen Prochnow.
Has Schwarzenegger stopped making films now?
No.
What was the last film he did? The zombie one.
No, he did Life After Beth. No, that was the comedy, wasn't it? No, I know the one you mean. It was It was like she was possessed, not a zombie. I don't think. But I know
the daughter, yeah, moping around.
I think she was called Beth, wasn't she? That's what I'm thinking.
I think it was Beth or something.
Yeah, something like that. And
that was the last film? That was a few years ago.
I think there's been others since.
They're doing triplets, aren't they?
Oh God, yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, but I thought they were putting Eddie Murphy, but they're not. They've got somebody else in. I can't think who it is. But I think
they're still going with the gag of like, it's a black guy.
Because it can't be really he's the big, strong, tough thing anymore. That doesn't work. Even now, he can't. I mean, you might...
Well, they're doing another Expendables, and he's in there.
They're pushing it now, aren't they?
I mean,
the camera angles are going to have to be proper.
I've not seen an Expendables.
The hair dye.
Like, did you see the last Rambo? Rambo.
I forgot which one it is. Which one?
5 or 6?
The one. Oh, in Mexico.
Yeah, the one where
that would be
he fights all the cartels.
Yeah. Single-handedly.
There's a lot of makeup on that man. He was lit. Yeah. He looked like, and even then, he looked like a stone. He looked like a concrete wall.
Yeah. Like Melania Trump in the audiobook, the book, the niece says that the daughter calls her the picture. She's just wherever she goes, she just looks. Have you seen it recently with the dirty look she gave him?
Yes, that's the first time I've seen them together.
It's so because she has got no off switch. She's just smiling, and she turns away, and the face just drops.
There's a few like that, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a few.
Been caught on camera where there's one. I think it's the inauguration, isn't it?
He turns around.
When
he
smiles, she was. I thought she was done then because she just walked off that plane. He stopped and gave a little. Impromptu press conference, little speech, and
the one where she tried to hold her hand and she knocked his hand away. But this one, so he's smiling and she's smiling and she turns around and the face just drops. What a woman!
Yeah,
I am what I am. What are you?
It's also it shows a bewildering level of naivety that you think for someone who was a model and a successful one that people don't have long lens cameras.
Yeah, it's funny because you think you must know.
She doesn't care.
Just cash. This is just a contract. Just let the contract run. I mean, the thing is, she must be all right now. You'd think she'd want to distance herself. Because you go, well, whatever you're going to get now. It's not going to change in the future.
Yeah, but do you want to be because it's not, do you want to be the divorce lawyer on the other side of that?
No, but she must be getting enough now to go, right, whatever I'm going to get, it's not worth the grief of being here with you.
I don't know what
Surely she
type
wants
of
to...
prenup they'd have. And
Maybe, yeah.
And it might be with custody of Baron. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he might because she's got the kid. If she hangs on a couple more years, I mean, come on, it's a miracle he's still standing now. Although he's one of these dudes who probably just will keep on going. He'd probably outlive me, to be honest.
Thriving on hate and poison, just holding his body up, just a rate.
Ketchup.
Yeah. Do you remember when they made a big deal of it when Melania Trump met the French president? And there was all like this, she was smiling and they were sort of like being very happy. She said nobody's ever seen her act like that before because he was sort of roughly her age, good looking guy, same height. And she was smiling away there, hugging and all that.
She was interacting with normal people. And you're like, oh,
somebody I actually find attractive.
Yeah, interacting with kind of normalish people. Like, well, I said normal people. The president of France.
Yeah. But compared to Trump, everything's
the guy's, you know.
But it was funny when you watch it, you go, I've never seen her smile like that before. Like, that's somebody she finds attractive.
Okay, did you see a certain sleepy president falling asleep at the COP26?
Oh, really? Recently?
Yeah, quite deeply asleep. Sleepy Joe, he went to bed. Sleepy Joe, time to go to bed.
Oh, he's not helping his cause, is he?
No,
yeah, but
literally he was like...
He should be wired. No, they can't, yeah.
And then an aide had to come up and go, look, here's a pretend email.
Yeah,
it's
like this email. Oi.
I'm sure it's the email he sent. He goes, if I fall asleep...
Yeah. Oh, that's not...
Jerk.
I was going to say, that's an interesting Joe Biden.
Yeah. Clinton Biden. Hey, Jack, if I fall asleep, just come and knock me on the shoulder.
Clinton.
Who's the next sort of coming up? Who's their next in line?
Trump.
No, I mean the other side. Is it Harris?
Kamala Harris?
Well, she's the vice president, yeah.
She's got a lot of hinky things in her past about
but then
sending
you've
people
got,
down and
she
all
was
that.
a shady
You've got AOC after that. Hopefully.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's where you want to get to. You want to jump over that lot and get to them.
I don't see her. She's so hated. But then they all are. Anyone who's a prominent figure.
She's too much change. She's one of them people it will never get to that level. Something will happen. It'll be the Godfather thing. She'll get struck by lightning. She'll get accidentally hit by a car. Something, because she is changed. That she ain't messing around, mate. She's too young to be bought off. So she won't get to that stage. They won't allow it.
Like Bernie.
Because they'll both just join forces. There's no it's like somebody said, you met when they're talking about the Monty Python lot, they're always talking about the upper classes having to go at them and said, that didn't mean they liked the working classes. It was just they hated the upper classes because they couldn't be them. Because they're always like, it was always the upper class, the working man getting the one over. I said, but don't assume that they like the working class like that, because they're all middle class. They just hate the people that look down on them. It's not that they're for you, because they hate the working class more than they hate the upper class. But so the Democrats and the Republicans, if it came to the real change coming out of the Democrat, they'd sooner forget it. Let's just all, because they're all the same.
Well, they did it with Bernie, didn't they?
Yeah, they're a corporate party.
Oh, that was embarrassing. Like, he just got to get popular, and suddenly they all just switched. Obama started talking for the first time.
That'd be genius. That would be like having Larry David as president, wouldn't it?
Not taking it seriously. I'm just gonna. Oh God. But yeah, they need somebody like her. But I've tried to stay away from politics. Anything else going on? Anything nice? You just finished work and you just rushed over here in London transport. That's dedication. Charles, where have you come in from?
Reading.
We don't mess around, mate.
No.
And I'm from Bedfordshire. That's podcasting, mate. We've the three pentagram
nationwide.
Yeah.
Nationwide.
I wonder if we should sort of just draw that on a piece of paper and see what comes up. Where have we all come from? It's like a word spelled out. Fail.
A giant Y.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a triangle.
Wow.
But where did the question mark come from? Oh, that was me. Yeah. Oh God. So what have you been doing today? What are you writing on?
It's just my day job.
Yeah. What have you been writing?
Just
you can say
copy for marketing banners.
Oh, you haven't finished a big script? No. You've been building Lego?
I haven't actually. I did buy myself a nice little Lego set.
Oh, recently?
What have you got?
Yes. Boba Fett, we're no longer allowed to call it what it's was called. Slave One. So it's now referred to as Boba Fett's Starship.
They're not allowed to put Slave One?
Nope. They have taken Slave One off all the kids, I don't know about the official, within the story, if they'll never call it Slave One again, but...
So those models have suddenly tripled in price? The ones
anything that's got Slave One written on it, yeah.
And it's in I can't even say it, but
Yeah, because basically I found I had a random email, and for a while I was like, this I feel is spam. But it was just saying, oh, you've got a John Lewis voucher. You had some John Lewis credit. We've now transferred it to this voucher. Collect it. And I was like, I spent better part of a day sifting out whether this was a scam.
Maybe.
And it was real. It was real. So I was like, well.
But had you been to John Lewis?
Yeah, but ages ago.
Right.
That's why I thought. Yeah. That's why I thought. Oh, it could be legit. But it was just weird. It was like, but that was years ago. So
funny enough, I got one from the post office today saying a parcel that I hadn't sent needed some money required to.
Of course,
but it was a mobile number.
Because that's totally legit. And the fact that it's just the post office giving out mobile numbers. Yeah. That's perfectly.
I love all those. There was one that said it's been doing the rounds. It was an image of, and it was. I can't remember what the fake thing that was like. You have done this whatever crime, parked illegally. You need to send money to this email. You need to click this link and pay the fine, or you will be under the rest.
Oh, right, yeah. Under the I love that. Yeah, FBI. Yeah. I actually got those Amazon things they've been talking about, where Amazon you're just getting random things through the post.
Yeah,
is that real?
Yeah,
I read that.
So they're sending. If everybody heard, so you're getting these random. They're always cheap, like a kid's toy or something like that, and it's basically. I don't know what exactly the thing is. They're obviously trying to build up their rating on Amazon by sending out random stuff to people that you haven't paid for, and then saying, "Oh yeah, we." But you've still got to rate it. So that's what I don't understand.
Well, I think it's number of orders sent. So
it's like an algorithm thing, not
so that they look like major sellers. But then,
surely that's costly.
I didn't get the thing with that, because surely
you're going to lose out in the long run. The money.
I thought, okay, if you're sending out empty boxes, but even then, like the postage and packaging, I mean, why bother? Just send them to yourself. Send them, to a PO box or whatever, and just.
But I did. I received like a cheap book, but it's like 8 months ago. This was a while ago. I suppose these things take a while before they become media.
It takes ages to get on the news.
I wonder if it's part of I keep seeing all over YouTube in particular about like the way to make money off Amazon isn't to sell the product, sign up to my thing. And it's basically about how you become a seller on Amazon, but you're not making anything. You're not making a product to sell. You are just buying. You're almost becoming a trader where you buy pens in Bangladesh that cost 19p and you sell them to somebody else for 21p, and then this happens. I'm like, this screams Ponzi scam. This like your multi-level marketing crap. So I wonder if it's something to do with that. It's just you got to send out this shit. Doesn't matter to who or what.
Yeah, there's a bigger thing going on than little products.
Yeah.
Is there a more ethical Amazon or anything like that that's coming up in the ranks?
eBay, I guess, because they're now becoming more like Amazon.
Who are they owned by, eBay? Is it their own company? I know they own Gumtree, don't they? eBay. No, they've just sold it. So eBay bought Gumtree.
Sensible purchase.
Like about 5 years ago, but they've now just sold it for like $2 billion.
Really?
To some.
What an absolute who?
That's what I couldn't understand. It's like, but it's not. Can you, Kerem? Can you look up how much
scheme,
eBay has sold Gumtree for?
He was on Gumtree just then.
Might be like $9 billion or something. It was some stupid number. I thought, really? That's not.
Who the hell uses Gumtree?
Unless it's bigger overseas, maybe it's not as big.
Could be.
Is eBay?
He's on the ball.
Sold Gumtree for amount of money.
While he's doing that, one of my another favourite.
He was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Exactly.
How many?
7.2 billion. It must be in foreign markets,
Yeah, I mean, it's not the website you're buying the connections.
It's a brand. I mean, people have heard of it. You know what I mean? Like when the fact that we're discussing it, you know what it is.
Yeah,
a lot of people know what it is.
It's just everywhere. It's not big, but it's moderate.
But it
everywhere.
could be really big, and it could be really big.
But it's bought by like some random name I've never It's probably owned by
It's like by MySpace now. It's just like, okay, good on.
Are they still going then?
Yeah, I think so.
How are they surviving?
I might have stopped.
Are they on food stamps? Like the CEOs?
I think it does still. We'd have to. Kerem, can you look up if it's sorry?
Just come and sit over here. Take the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to make it a music thing, aren't they?
News media.
No one.
I give them their dues for holding on though. Like they held out. I'm not selling. I'm not selling.
Again, it's a name, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's a recognised brand.
But they've only got one generation to sort it out, because once that generation goes, nobody knows who MySpace is anymore. Oh. If you weren't there 10 years ago, then in another 10 years' time, that's nothing. MySpace is nothing. Doesn't mean anything.
Have you ever been on TikTok?
No.
Jesus Christ, it's confusing.
Oh, I tell you, I did look at it one because I didn't have to sign up for it. There was somebody that was supposed to be a guest, and they had a TikTok, so I TikToked it or whatever, but it was just there. And I thought, nope, nope, not doing it. Not interested.
That's where I draw the line. That's where there's a couple of times in my life where I've just gone, well, there's a line here, and I'm not crossing that.
If you express yourself in 5-second bursts, we're not going to have a conversation because you're probably slightly retarded emotionally. Not being funny. I mean, like if you can express, if you're happy to express yourself in 5 seconds, and it's nothing because you can't say there's no intelligence. It's just weirdness.
Some of the sketches are quite fun, but some of these, some of the sketches, as in people doing short little comedy bits, are quite funny. People were saying, I have seen clips as well. I'm like, this is not a well person. Like someone needs to.
I think she had hats on. She was like clicking, and then there was another hat on her head.
Yeah, some things are very strange. I'm like, why is this?
I don't like that, so I don't like you. So I thought, forget it. Anything else you got to offer is not worth it.
She was clicking wearing hats.
But there is some of the
it
stuff.
Was something like that. It was just like, oh, here's me, click, and there's another hat. What?
Oh, okay.
Who are you that I would watch you change?
I've forgotten
hats?
his name, but in like a weird 6 degrees of separation, there was somebody became like a massive viral star, and basically his thing was that he would throw stuff over his shoulder, and it would land in the shopping basket or in the tea
and
cup.
That's how you survive.
Yeah, and that's
like
because and it was like a quasi celebrity, and it's like, invited to these.
I saw a YouTube thing popped up
what?
today. I thought it was fake. So what is a YouTube video? And no, it was an actual channel of like these high-priced flats, whatever. And the original one, because it popped up, I thought that's not real. And it was like London Eye or London, whatever it was, overlooking the thing. And it was like 13 million, and I thought that's ridiculous. And the next one is in America, and it was a channel, and it was a Florida estate, and so the guy was showing you around $78 million. $78 million. This Florida. I mean, it looked like a small city. It was ridiculous. But think of that. That wasn't like that. I just stopped watching them after. It could have been more. But 78 million. I mean, where the car drove it off the beach, drove for about 10 seconds into the property where there's a big sort of, look like a, imagine like 5 tennis courts. That's where you park the thing with the thick fountain. And then upstairs that looked like it's going into the opera or something like that. And that's the
Very
outhouse.
unfortunate pose you keep making there.
Oh, well, but anyway, 70, that's what it was up for. I mean, that is... Now
I don't know. You don't need much house.
Yeah, when the guy was talking, like the what do you call it when he's the estate agent, I was sort of thinking, there's no comedy here. He's literally saying this is like, no, this is what it is, 78 million. Like, it's not like this is you regurgitate as you would sell it at that. What are you talking about? 78 million. They have to have a helicopter so you can see the whole thing.
He might be on
he'll be on
10% commission. So
yeah, but it's just so like you're that's who was it I was listening to recently? Oh, I can't remember. Somebody was saying something. Oh, it was Russell Brand.
Another great anecdote.
Russell Brand. No, it was one of Russell Brand's thing popped up.
Hasn't he gone anti-vax?
I don't know. I don't watch the channel. I don't know. But it's just this little clip, and it was it's talking about the wealthy. Now, after the script thing that we written about, the rich and all that, and he said, yeah, he was talking about, wouldn't it be fun if you could get to a point? He said, where you see, that was it. He was talking to a spiritual person, and he was talking to them about wealth and what it means to him. And he's saying, no, he said, there should be a time when you look at these people that pull up in a Ferrari, and you go, oh, mate, come here, and you give them a hug because there's something wrong with them.
Yeah,
like there's something wrong with you if you're driving around in a car that's worth like a mansion, and that's your car. Like there's something fundamentally wrong with who you are to be having that. And if you took that person that's got a £78 million dollar, £50 million, whatever it is, you're almost going to go, what is wrong with your psyche? Like what is in you that's not, can never be fulfilled, that can have this sort of wealth? I mean, to be honest, you could chuck it out to Bezos as well. He's probably got something similar. It was like nothing will fulfill you. You will die still trying to get something that's hollow anyway. Like there's something wrong with the way your brain works. But yeah, he said you just we get to the day where they pull up and everyone comes around and just gives them a hug and go, "You're right, mate." Like something wrong with me. I have to show off these things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's always the idea that someone's got a flash motor because they've got a tiny dick.
Yeah, you did mention that. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't,
But it's valuing yourself through the eyes of other people. I need stuff to be validated by you.
I don't know if I need Russell Brand to tell me about how sad it is that people desperately seeking validation.
Oh, I don't know. Is people going against him now then?
No, I'm just saying like him as a person in general. You know, as soon as his
Well, I know he has.
film career
He
picks
does
back
mock
up, he'll be-
himself, though, doesn't he? He does realise like this is all stupid. That you don't get many people that say those sort of things. Like I'm ridiculous. I am like I have those things inside me that make me feel that way. But so you go, well, that's close enough. As long as you're mocking yourself, sort of thing. I'll take that over like just being a 2-dimensional selfish person. Didn't Jordan just come out of rehab or something like that?
It was a weird lane change.
It was not. I was talking about selfish, vain people.
She did the car flip thing on drugs.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Do the immediate thing of right, I'm going.
Katie Price. I was like,
I'll smash my car up drunk driving for how many God knows how many times. But don't worry, I'm in rehab. Yeah, that's it's like it's like the wheelchair trick when somebody get done for something, they suddenly are in a wheelchair into the courthouse. But hang on, you were making films 2 minutes ago, and you go, but you must know that that's like a cliche.
Have you seen all that all those images of Harvey Weinstein shuffling his way into the?
Well, yeah, he's another one
on a Zimmer frame with like
tang.
Yeah,
I would hope we can separate Katie Price, doing
no, but it's just it's the smaller version of like you've done something terrible. The first thing is you hold off the police and you get yourself in rehab. So then when you are arrested, they say, oh, I'm in rehab to the court. I mean, that goes back to the 80s. It's ridiculous. So, and if it's your third time, it's ridiculous. Something else popped up. Did you see that Jessica Simpson photo? So you know Jessica Simpson?
Yeah, I know Jessica. What?
So she's been an alcoholic for like 4 or 5 years.
I she? I don't know.
Kerem, can you enlarge? No, you got to see this because I thought, that looks like one of those things where she's done a film and they've put makeup on her to make her look bad. And she's literally done it to say, look, I'm coming out of alcoholism now.
She posted it herself.
She posted it now. And I thought it was a joke. I thought, no, that's makeup.
That's quite,
she did. She said, look, this is without makeup. I'm now not an alcoholic and I've been an alcoholic for 4 years.
There's a DJ, Fat Tony, who's kind of, obviously he's a famous DJ, but people might not necessarily know his music, but he's on Instagram. He's kind of, also slightly a kind of memer because it kind of came up during lockdown and he just posted memes because obviously he didn't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
But he posts on the anniversary of getting clean a picture of him at the height of his drug addiction, and it is just like it's not the same person. Yeah, it looks because it's not like you can kind of there's one or two because he doesn't always post the same one. The first one I ever saw of him because I didn't know he had that problem. Because it's quite a long time ago, but honestly, the picture is you just think that's
a different body type.
It's an entirely so him as a drug addict looks kind of a little bit like midway, like genuine, so skeletal. It's like it's like the Indiana Jones in the third one when the guy starts shriveling and becomes a skeleton. And that's not to be flippant. That is genuinely how
Baywatch,
poorly.
Exactly.
Yeah. But one of the women that was in Baywatch, the early Baywatches, and like one of her police, she's been arrested, but she's been doing drugs all the years. And mate, she's got like a beard, like her face is all like, I mean,
she's got a beard,
like her hair's on her face, like everything's, her teeth are gone, everything. And you go, you can't match the two images up of the two people.
You mean as in she's actually got a beard?
Yeah, like an old woman, like that.
Oh, so like
it's all the hairs are starting to come out.
Some hormonal
Have you got the Jessica Simpson photo? Right, so look at this. Hang on. Look at the Jessica Simpson photo. Look at that.
Yeah, I would not have guessed that's her.
That's her.
No. I mean, but good for. I mean, not good for her. It's obviously
it's terrible.
But yeah, is it? But good for her to kind of have that sort of thing of say this is.
Yeah. But just like what that can do, Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
well, you look at George Best, do you think, beautiful man, and then a kind of a wreck.
Yeah, I don't remember him being young. I can only ever remember.
Yeah, I mean, if you see old footage, but you look at him and you think like, oh, he looks like a matinee idol. He looks like a
movie star, didn't he?
Yeah, and that's kind of how he was. He was this rock star, superstar, and then you look at him, not that much later, but he looks because obviously got very. Because the thing with alcoholism, I think usually what happens is you get massive and then you get very thin.
Yeah,
and so there was a thing where he was just very massive. But you think like, oh, it's decade, it's really a short time later, and it's really quite sad actually.
I remember there's always something in the I'd always see his face on the front cover. He's had this done. Now that didn't.
Yeah, he basically just became famous, a little bit like Gaza, unfortunately. Similar sort of thing that just kind of famous now for their addiction.
I remember he said the problem is, he said, everywhere I go, somebody wants to buy you a drink. Like it's one of those sort of things that everyone's trying to buy you drinks, and you say no. But didn't he have a transplant? Yeah, I remember he was on tablets to stop make you vomit when you drink, but he drank anyway.
Yeah,
and I think he had a transplant, but then he started drinking again after that. That's terrible. I remember, and it's not sort of similar.
Chat, then,
Yeah.
But who's the guy that in the Goodfellas, the main guy, the young guy?
Ray Liotta,
Yes. Who did he play? The actual guy.
Henry Hill.
Yeah. So there was like I
That was
listened to
nice
a podcast with him, and people were talking about him. Like his daughter was saying, like, you can't believe anything he says. He said he's a pathological liar.
He's not a good guy.
Back then, he just everything's made up. And anyway, so this other guy who knew him, who then changed his life, he's got his own channel, like YouTube thing. He's saying, like, even when he was on, he had to go and witness protection 3 different times, and each time he started selling drugs.
He kept
and,
on getting done for drug dealing. Yeah.
But he said, so this guy met up with him, which was only like, I think it was 10 years ago, like 2 years, like, and he said it was 8 years ago, so 10 years. And he said, like, I own apartment blocks now and things like that. He said, I met up with him. It was like a showbiz thing. And I'm telling him, like, I'll do these apartments. And he said, he wanted to get the keys off me for all the apartments because he said, oh, you've got all the keys for the apartment. Let's go and rob them. And it's like, Jesus Christ, like, you can't, like, you understand? You're still trying to rob people, burgle people.
Yeah, aren't you on parole or something?
Yeah.
Like, geez.
But his daughter was asked about it. She said, don't believe anything he's saying about books and films. He said he was a pathological liar. He had a wife.
That's the thing.
And
all
he'd married another woman and wanted to move her in the house and said to his wife, so the daughter was saying this, said to the original wife, don't worry, it's okay because I've married her in a different name. Like, that's what he was saying to the girl's mum. Like, that's what.
But that's obviously someone who just is so much lies so often they're in their own fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't?
Wanted to move her into the house. Like, I'm married to somebody else, but don't worry, I married her under another name.
Yeah. Well, they just think they can bullshit their way out for anything. That's
But the world just changed.
otherwise you
around him
wouldn't be like a mid-level heroin dealer, would you? Like, if
Isn't the new talking of those sort of films? What's the new film with Robert De Niro about the Reading?
Native
Native Americans that had all their land
corrected yourself,
stolen.
it's fine.
Yeah. What's the something flower?
I don't know.
I don't
Oh, come on, you haven't heard of it?
Gosh, we're keeping Kerem busy.
Who makes all those films? The
Whitney
Robert De
Moore.
Niro films.
The Scorsese?
Scorsese?
What is it? Yeah, have you not heard of it?
Pillars of the Flower Moon.
Is it
No.
a western?
Oh no, it's a proper. No, it's a real story about the guy that was supposed to be like they're saying he's like one of the worst people in history. Just stole all the land, lied to them about everything. Was just like greed till the end of his life, and he's played by Robert De Niro.
Okay.
And it's to do with but it's like they said he's like one of the worst people in history. Just didn't aim or didn't care about anyone. Just robbed everyone, took everything from anybody. Couldn't stop, didn't care about anyone. But this is it's like it seems like a small budget film, but it's like it's become this big thing, this big film. I'm not sure when it's out. Oh, I think it might be a Netflix thing actually.
2022.
Oh yeah, but yeah. Apparently, kept looking at it. I thought, it's not my sort of thing, like that sort of time. But now it's like a big story. It's like a what's his name got involved in it? What was his name?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro's involved, and he's like playing the baddie.
Okay.
It's been it's because it's late at night. We're all sort of what's the thing and what's. I mean, I'm dragging us down more than
no. We're
I'm trying
not.
to pull
We're
you
not.
down.
No, there's not this we ship.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I don't know. There's a few ums and ahs.
What's a good YouTube channel? Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares clips. The official channel
Okay.
posts some of the most bizarrely named clips. It does these compilation clips of like Gordon Ramsay yells at like 20-year-old person, reality TV star. Gordon Ramsay yells at Meatloaf, the man, in the celebrity edition. I realised that was a poor choice.
Yeah.
I said that. It's like confusing it in the context. He yells
Why
at
are
a
you so
Meatloaf.
hard?
Yeah,
Get on with it! You're dead!
because he's been living in LA, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Is he all plastic surgery up?
Well, he got his face fixed.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Not too much. He
No.
just kind
He's
of
got his
Botoxed
face
himself
fixed.
a
He
little
did
bit.
have,
I think he's got teeth. You know, he's got the Hollywood teeth now.
Well, he probably came to it late, didn't he? Plastic surgery, so he might be all right.
But these clips are fantastic because they're like nothing to do with the actual clip. They sort of BLM marchers show corrupt police force. They the truth about systemic racism as Gordon Ramsay goes mad on their waiter, and then they're like William Shatner is first person. He's our first 90-year-old in space.
Oh, just picking anything and
as Gordon Ramsay spits in the eye of a restaurant owner.
Oh God. What is he actually?
And this is the official channel from like I think it's NBC or something.
I
like
thought
a
it was like
major
some
thing. No,
person-
it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Is that just a weird clickbait? As in, like,
Yes.
What, from a main channel?
Yeah, they keep it like they add in loads of sort of contemporary issues and like topics.
What is he
in their
actually doing?
titles.
Like, is he still? He's not making cookery show like that sort of shouting at people thing. Surely.
Still doing Hell's Kitchen, maybe?
Oh no. And it
I don't think he does
still?
Kitchen's Nightmares, or because he
I thought he'd be a host of a game show or something like that now.
he probably does too.
He was doing
He
it-
has done. He has done game shows.
There
Yeah,
you go. See? Jesus
I
Christ.
think over here. I'm not sure over there.
Oh, God.
He's probably just counting his millions. Like, why
Yeah, but I
not?
mean, wouldn't you just knock it on the head? I suppose vanity's kick. It's not money now, is it? It's just I
Well,
wanna
you were
be
moaning
seen.
a moment ago that
Oh,
people
was I?
were being crazy about, accumulating wealth.
No, but but knock it on the head and just enjoy your life. Why do you have to
Maybe
keep?
yes.
No, he said again. He's relying on vanity. He's like absorbed.
Well, how do you know? You just said what's he up to. You don't know what he's up to.
Well, if he's
Maybe
doing game shows,
No,
then
I'm
you
saying
know
he
he's
has
just
done
cash.
game shows.
His fat daughter was doing
Easy.
Charles.
Strictly. What?
That's it. Well done. That's what I like it. We got. Oh, it's
Well,
terrible.
I'm saying no.
Terrible.
She's
It's a
all right.
description.
I like big girls. I
Yeah.
don't. That's fine. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm
Someone
down.
there was someone else said a very similar thing about that, Charles.
What?
They referred to her as, I'm only repeating what they said. I'm not happy with you about this, Charles, but they said they called her they said she's a chubby little thing. This is a LBC. So that's who you're in common with now, Charles.
LBC presents.
You and an LBC presenter.
No, I think that he likes big women. That way, that gets you out of anything, mate. He likes.
Yeah,
them.
but you can say like big women, not.
What was it? I forgot what he said.
You fat. Yeah, I think you said fat bird.
No,
or
he
something
didn't.
like
I
that.
said
large.
fat blonde woman.
Oh well,
Oh,
that's
just
much
a-
Fat
better.
blonde daughter. I think
Right, we've
that's
repeated about 10 times. If we had just glossed over it.
To be fair, she's lost quite a bit because obviously all the.
Okay, so you're not interested in her anymore.
I really don't know how to feel about this anyway.
I like
anyway,
jumper.
move on.
Where'd you get your jumper?
Henny's.
Oh, right.
Egypt, yeah.
Doing a white?
Why? Because I can shop at Henny's.
Well, it's not as the jaw. See, what you got on? You got the American. Oh, he's supporting the NASA.
No, it's NASA, yeah.
What is it? What does it actually say? National. Oh,
National Aeronautic.
And
no,
Space-
North
oh,
American.
okay.
I can't remember now.
National Aeronautics and Space.
Are they owned by Disney yet?
Probably.
Disney on the side of a rocket ship. Oh, do you remember the what was Schwarzenegger's film, The Last Action Hero?
Yeah.
And the budget on it was like massive.
70 billion.
Yeah, and they put up didn't they put a rocket into space with it on the side?
Did they?
Yeah, they actually did it. And they had like at the Cannes Film Festival, it was like a 200-foot blow up of him. And it's just because they've just put you can see photographs of it. Like I'm not joking, like the size of this thing.
But of all the films, that's the film you
But they
decide
banked
to
everything on
bankroll.
that being, the massive hit. And then
Do you know what? Funny enough, there's been a bit of a
Jurassic
comeback with it recently because the thing was, if you watch it,
Oh, it's not a bad film.
it was too ironic at the time. Now it works because you sort of it's mocking itself. But back then, people are, what is this? I want it to be what it is.
It
was
didn't need to
too
cost what
smart.
it didn't need to cost what it cost.
No, right. Yeah. Well, I mean that's probably partly his wage.
Yeah, I
You know,
imagine he
at that
probably
point,
got. I don't know what that film cost, but it was enormously costly.
quarter of it would have been his wage.
Yeah, he probably.
But then it was all the promotion, like the rocket thing, and what it did, it made it so big that you can't go anywhere. It wasn't going to be the big. If you're sticking it on the side of rockets, that might say to you, pull it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But he probably just pushed to go. It is an amazing. It was really original. Like this, that was not done before, and they just went too far. If that had just been another film, it was a good. You can watch it now and go, oh, okay, that's
It's all right,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
It's trying to do something a bit different.
Yeah.
Hats off to
Didn't work. Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean, what have we got now? Another Matrix movie.
Oh, yeah, when's
well
that come
done,
out?
Hollywood. Well
Yeah,
done.
that's in the winter. I'm going to watch it though. It looks good.
When's
from the
it
trailer.
out?
Is it soon?
Yeah, I think it's soon, like November,
This
December
year?
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
this
is
year,
November, isn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's Christmas kind of
Cinema?
Christmas launch. Yeah.
Well,
Oh, right.
yeah. I think it might be
3D.
on HBO. Again, they're doing that sort of simultaneous release, aren't they, in America?
and on cinema. And
Yeah, so it's released on streaming for like a week or two.
who
a
does that
month or something.
benefit? Like, what do you lose? Like, why haven't they?
Well,
done
they
it
had it
before?
because you subscribe to their, you.
I'm trying to think, why was it not done before and it is now? Is it
Because
just so many
they're-
people are watching online?
Well, also because you didn't have a pandemic that forced everyone to stay at home.
That's what I mean. It's just the numbers of watching online.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably heading that way anyway because of Netflix.
But it's sad, and it's like if we start doing that where films are made for TV and on your phone, you're
But there are
losing
people-
half the.
They kind of already are.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Disney are, have said we're from now on all our big, theatrical, because they had tried with things like Cruella, with Mulan, with Black Widow.
Yeah.
Mind you, on the other side, nobody's TVs are like under 50 inch, so you're sort of
And there are certain films that something like Dune, something like Bond, you're going to go see in the cinema.
right.
What
Yeah,
I'm saying
okay.
about June is that, yeah, I was thinking, I don't think you can pay-per-view it anyway at home,
No.
but not yet in this country. So, but I was thinking that's one of the few films I'm like, I'd like to actually see that in the big screen.
Yeah,
Because I think, I'm not sure if it did end up, but at one point they were going to do the, cinema and simultaneous, VOD from home. but the director kicked up a massive stink and everyone reacted.
I wonder if you do just end up with these big cinemas that only put on big shows, and then these sort of like more localized cinemas that do. You know what I mean? That just splits off, and one.
But I think there is room for room for that in the same way that there is just in general in the film market. There is room for here's some big action thing, and then here's some story about whatever, something a bit more
kitchen sink,
kitchen sink kind of drama, kind of thing. There is a market for both.
Low budget horror movies.
Watch their
it's the mid budget films just seem to have gone. It's not,
is Netflix?
Well, that's gone to Netflix, I should say, because those kind of 50 to 100 odd, 100 odd mil.
Right,
they're mostly kind of Netflix stuff now.
Is Netflix owned by anybody, or do they own anyone? Have they got to that point where they've been bought out or bought anybody?
They're their own thing. I mean, they started.
Are they making money? I remember up a couple of years ago, they still weren't making the money that they'd spent out. I remember reading. Well, probably about 4 years ago now, let's say it.
I think they're horribly in debt all the time.
Because the amount of money they're making. Money. I mean, think of the films, and that's a lot of
they get a ton in.
But then they get a ton
the
back
subscription.
Well.
The subscriptions every month, they get a ton coming in, so they have a huge turnover. But I think they were actually running in debt.
For years they were,
Yeah, it's still pretty massive now.
The Uber paradigm.
Because they have to constantly
kill everyone around you then.
Well, it's a business model predicated on the fact that you have to constantly expand.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And
it's capitalism.
And constant and spend more and more and more and have more stuff on it. So
devouring everything.
Eventually, they'll reach max. They already are starting to. I think new subscribers has slowed down.
All you need is sort of like Netflix and Disney to sort of come together, and then there'll be a South Park episode in that where the two jaws are like like Disney, and they just eat everything.
I mean, that's the thing that's going to eat into it, is that everyone's going to have their own thing. So you're going to have Paramount. Well, the Paramount Plus have their own thing.
Oh right, didn't I?
Apple TV.
Yeah.
The
others are slower because obviously it's taking them longer because a lot of their content, in the same way that a lot of Disney and Marvel stuff was spread across Netflix and Amazon, and that were different because of deals signed at different times, and then gradually they're like, no, we're not renewing that deal anymore because we're going to bring it on to Disney Plus. So that's going to happen. Star Trek will disappear off other platforms. It's already starting to, I think. I think the films are all off. I think the series are gradually going to start coming off as well. Apart from those that are produced in conjunction.
Wonder if one day we'll buy out. We're coming up behind them.
What, VLUT on demand?
Well, we're on the list. We might be right down the bottom of the list, but we're on the media list. We never know, conglomeration.
I mean, if we charge our two listeners $1 billion each,
I'll call him now and ask him. I'll call him
if they're happy.
It's an aggressive expansion policy.
Yeah, exactly.
We want to get off first term names with our listeners. All right, well, let's end it there. It's getting quite late. We're doing a late show. We've all come in.
And both listeners got their shout out, so they're fine.
Who contacted me? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. No. Yeah. One of the listeners contacted me. We're going out for a drink. Like the Alan Partridge model. Like, do you remember him? Listen, he's got callers and he's like getting on well with them. And said, "Oh, we should meet up for a drink." And the guy laughed. He says, Wednesday good for you? Yeah. What?
Okay.
All right, well, there you go. That's another episode of the VLUT podcast. So what we got coming up? We've got some guests coming up next, haven't we? We're doing
guests. All the guests.
I thought the Halloween one, if you didn't watch it, those masks look great. It was accidental, great, what do you call it, set design by us, I thought. Ad hoc set design. Did you see it?
Yes.
They look fucking
I was
fantastic.
here.
No, I mean,
my great
on
ghost
camera,
stories.
it looked a lot better.
Oh, right, yeah.
All right, so there you go.
Stories. Yeah.
Right, so that was the show, and we will see you next time with an interview.
Right.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger